Okay, good morning. We're doing adrenal health today. An adrenal and stress response protocol. So we're just getting all of our platforms ready. So hello. Hey, on those of you joining on Zoom, let me just put the link in the Restream chat. So if you want to come over, although we're doing a protocol, so there will be times where I won't be able to see you. Hey, Sally. So we're about to do an adrenal protocol. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes, who knows, but we're going through the amount of time that it would take to get effect. So some of you might know a lot of the points that have been following for a while, but we had a class yesterday, and you know, students, what I'm finding, hey Mercedes, hey Rebel, what I'm finding is that, like I say, I teach things for a lot of years, and then I there's something in my head thinks, okay, everyone knows it now, so I won't teach it again. However, we need repetition, right, to learn things. All right, so I'm going to sit down. I'm on the floor today. I'm sitting on the floor, and we're going through a protocol. So those of you that have, I'm just still letting people in and whatnot, so bear with me. Those that are feeling buzzy, agitated, or even tired, not sleepy tired, people, not sleepy tired, fatigued. Who's fatigued? I'm fatigued. I am so tired, but I don't want to sleep. It's not a sleep tired. I know sleep's not going to do it. I mean, sleep is great. It heals a lot of things, everything really. But our adrenals and all of the energetics that sort of interweave with that. So, you know, triple warmer, the meridian triple warmer, which is also a radiant circuit. Okay. Triple warmer is also a radiant circuit. What's a radiant circuit? So I was sharing this yesterday. So we had this whole lesson for yesterday, but what I saw was that what their body needed, okay, without going into too much detail. And how I work in this world is what I see in the field. So if I say, okay, we're going to do this, and you turn up and I'm experiencing, you know, I'm being shown, your energies are talking to me, I'm going to go there to assist you so then you can receive the teaching. You're not going to be able to receive anything if your system's sort of doing blocks and you know, or holds, right? Martial arts. It's not going to happen, is it? You can't receive well. Or if you are receiving, maybe you're receiving what's not necessarily in your best interest. But who knows what's in your best interest? You know, I always say that. It's like we don't fully know why we experience something. Right? We can pretend, we can grasp at ideas and stories that make us feel in some form of control. Let's just sing it, people. Say the truth. Like, who are we kidding? Speaking of myself too, I'd be like, oh, the planetary conditions, and it's this time of the year, and there's this gateway happening, and oh, you know, and someone passed away here, and someone's, you know, blah, 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 on my diet, my birthday, blah, 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 right? It doesn't matter, it's story. It doesn't matter. It's just story. It's story to make it acceptable. How do we make life acceptable to ourselves? That's why I laugh all the time. It's, you know, have you heard of the cosmic joke? It's literally, it's like when you can see it all, it's just, it's like, really? Okay, so we all here, we all ready to get started. I'll just get this one up so that I can see. In saying that, you know, as I'm going through the protocols, I will be doing them fully with you, so I won't be able to sort of see if somebody's coming in late and all those sorts of things. So if you want to come onto a Zoom, come on to Zoom now, or hold your peace until, you know, or come on, and when I get a break, I can come back to the computer, because I want to sit back so that I can, so you can see me better for a start, even though I'm in black. Should have wore white, I guess, but I felt like it was a black day today. You know, black is all colors too. So, okay, we've got some more people joining. Welcome. We're going through a protocol, and if I was a betting gal, I would say I would bet that you need it. Right? Are you tired? Just think about it. So we're going to go into, let's just go into a connection with the self first. Oh, I can already feel you. See, when I do this, I open up so I can feel you. So I might need to shut you down a little bit, but I mean, there's people coming on. I can feel the energy. Feel into yourself. Close your eyes, or keep them open if you want, but focus onto one thing or one pointedness, or close your eyes, whatever you prefer. Feel into the body. Take a breath and feel into the body. What's it feel like to you? What's it feel like to you? And those on Instagram, if you can't see me well or hear me well, go over to Rhombus Healing Arts Facebook, and you'll see it there, or one of my other ones, and you'll see a clearer picture. So feel. What's the body feel like? Or you're sensing. So if you're not a feeler, because some people will go, I don't feel anything. Okay, with the sensory system that you prefer or that works well for you, feel into the body. What do you notice? What do you notice? What do you observe? What takes your attention? Or what calls to you in the physical? Okay. In the physical, what's calling to you in this moment? Is there tension, tightness, or is something feel loose and not comforting, because it's almost like you feel like your boundary is so floppy that it can't support you? Is it you have a tickle, a pain, whatever it is? And once you've contacted that, just acknowledge it. It just is. Hey, tickle. Hey, pain. How you doing today? Not going right into the story. You're just acknowledging. Hey, okay. Acknowledge that you're there. We're going to build this relationship, but we're going to go through a protocol that will assist us, meaning your trillions of cells. Every point of you, every circle of you, every line of you, all of you. So when I say all of you, you might go, oh, well, what about, we've got the physical bit, we've got the energy, but we've also got spirit or soul aspect. The energies we're going to go into in a moment. So I'm still just giving time for people to come in, but this is a big part of it. It is it. That the meridians and the radiant circuits, the meridians are the polarity, they have point polarity, right? The acupuncture or acupressure points have polarity. So the other day, when was it? Tuesday, Monday I came on spontaneously and needed to share, right? This links to it, but this is what you can do. This is the practice, a practice. It's just a small one. And we're going to take the time to do a small practice protocol that you can do every day. If you do have stress, who doesn't? Who is brave enough to say they don't have stress in their life? Come on, who? Because I'll be quite happy to show you where it is. We gotta be light about this because it's life. It is just our life, and our life is miraculous, but it entails the love and the fear, the positive and the negative. But it also includes the neutral, positive, negative, neutral. And we'll be using this sort of plug in a moment. And we'll also be touching into the neutral. When triple warmer is at peace, that energy then can put its weapons down. I see it as this soldier, this medieval soldier with this broad sword standing there in front of me. He's not letting anyone leave or enter. That is not helpful. So we love him. We say, oh, you're doing such a great job. However, there are times when you need to rest. Put your sword down, lean against the tree or the wall. I've got this, and I will show you how I've got this. I need to build trust in that system with me. It's my system. We were talking about trust yesterday. It's part of the core energetic grid of the human. Do you trust yourself? That was a big question. Do you trust yourself? Like with honesty, you don't need to let me know. Do you trust yourself? And just drop into that. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself to make the decisions that are most helpful for you? Do you trust yourself to say no when you mean no? Or do you find yourself saying yes a lot and then, being unkind to yourself because you said yes and you would like to have rested and your body's screaming at you to rest, to say no? It's not your responsibility to heal and solve everyone's problems, all of you earth elements. We touched on that. I've got a lot of earth too, and that is one of my lessons in life. Because if I didn't have to pay bills and pay for food and electricity and my internet connection and all the business stuff, I would just do everything, in service. And I used to. But my clients used to bring me boxes of food because I couldn't feed myself, right? I was in pure service for a long time, right? So there is that part of me that wants to do that, but then there's my lesson in life. So just feeling into that, where you are with that there's an exchange. There's an exchange, and the more that there is exchange, the more you can receive. So on both sides. So where was I going with that? Radiant circuit. So triple warmer can, so this meridian that is governs the stress response, or one arm of the stress response, but also our hormones, our regulation of our temperature. So anyone having hot flushes or goes into anxiety or overwhelm, or overwhelm is very much an adrenal response. All of this stuff is adrenal response, right? Now we can bring in other neural chemicals as well, but looking at the energy, we're primarily going, okay, triple warmer. When we are on it and looking after ourselves. So we are our word, and we stand in. So on the grid, so okay, I'm going to put in little bits and pieces. So on the grid of the body, we've got the lower density consciousness at the hips, and one side is trust, and it goes up to truth. And if that line, that grid of energy, so how your trust in yourself, into your truth, and then it goes up to the higher consciousness of the shoulders, how you, brave heart, courage, how you stand in that, how you stand in that. So we have to practice our trust. That's why I asked, do you trust yourself? Do you have trust that you will carry through your word? You know, we talk about conscious evolution and ascension. To get to those higher levels of trust and purity of love, these lower ones need to be worked. The infrastructure of these need to be worked. How can you move forward if you don't have full trust in yourself? How can anyone else trust you? How can the powers that be trust you? How can the beloved trust in you? I'm just going to say it like that. It's not 100% true, right? There is the beloved and the divine mother and father know what you're working with. But it is just like the mother and father, the great mother and father watching their child. And there'll be lessons. It's like when you do everything for your child, helicopter parents, any helicopter parents out there, I can't see you unless you're on Zoom, so you can put your hand up and no one will know, but you'll be in your truth, right? Just do helicopter parenting. So this isn't probably great news. Helicopter parenting or over parenting or cotton ball parenting, whatever they call it these days. Does anyone know what they call it these days, or it's sort of the same sort of thing? My kids are grown. I don't work with children anymore, little kids, so I don't know what they call all that stuff now. But in how we develop and how our brain develops, it's the same. And there's so much literature on this. It's the same as if you were neglected and traumatized. So the behaviors that come out are very similar. So we could talk about good enough parenting. So can you see? Love, fear, good enough parenting. Over parenting, under parenting, good enough parenting. My attempt here is to give you multiple ways of seeing the same thing, right? So some of you might say, well, all of this, conscious evolution is all well and good, but little Johnny or Jane over here is, I'm at my wits. I don't know what to do. You know? So we talked about the other day, well, what's the behavior telling you? And where are you? So go back and watch that video. I'm editing that video on Monday, so that it will just be boom, 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 because there's some gems in there, right? And it's a long video, so I'm attempting to edit that in between my other things. So let's get to adrenal fatigue. So anyone feel buzzy when they connect into themselves? Is there a buzzing or a electrical feel? You know, are you feeling, what are you feeling when you, so close your eyes and link into the, just after the skin, just around your field. Doesn't matter if you have no connection to your energetics, your subtle energy systems, you are it. So just feel it, just like feel it with your intention. Like, how does it feel? Just off my skin. At the moment, I can feel the fan, so it's cool and there's a breeze. Okay, so Deb said, thankfully, no. Woohoo! All right. So do you feel tired? Do you feel pain in the body? Do you have weight gain that you're like, I don't know what's going on. I've got weight gain. Do you have disruption in your cycle if you're a woman? Do you have premenstrual tension and you don't usually? Are you getting headaches? Are you do you have fertility issues? So I feel the buzz not in me, but I can't see that whole message, but I'll put the chat up properly. There we go. I feel the buzz in me, but almost touching me. Yeah. You can feel it inside you as well. We have an electrical system. So there's lots of different ways. What else? There's so many things. Hormonal imbalances, mood swings. Do you find yourself snapping or crying? Mood swings, right? Thyroid imbalance. These are some of the things. Like there's a whole list, and we'll see if this is tied because stayed up last night listening to a talk, then had to be up early. Okay. So if that goes on, so we can get this working of these energetics and these systems, it can be over time. So if you've been in stress for a while, right, it could be a year before it hits you. So if it's hitting you now, you could have been in it for years. Often when you stop, like something's happened and you stop, that's where it seems to you seem to feel it, right? You feel like heavy, emotions will come up, really tired but can't sleep. All of these types of things are generalized, right? Because you're no longer running, right? Triple warmer's fighting the battle. And when the battle's past, so it might be the fire, right? You've got to evacuate from a fire. Triple warmer gets you through. Boom, 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 right? And then when you're safe, then you can feel how you really feel. It's like when you go on holidays. Any of you go on holidays and get sick? Whether you have holidays from work or the kids holidays from school or whatever, things shift and change. And I saw it year after year after year. And I said to my boss way back when, and they just laugh at me, but I'm telling you, I said, maybe because I tell him like this with a giggle and a smile on my face, but I'm serious. I'm just a bit of a cosmic clown occasionally. We should have rest before our breaks. We should have a period of sort of slowing down before our holiday, before our break, right? So this protocol, let's get into it. This protocol will assist triple warmer to find his balance where he can go, all right, she's got it. She's on it. She's given me some R&R, right? But we're going to go through a little bit of a process before he goes on R&R. So therefore he doesn't go into, holy, there's change. Triple warmer governs change, governs the patterns. If you want to change anything in your life, triple warmer will go, that meridian, that energy related to that meridian will say like, oh, there's change, danger, stress response. It doesn't matter whether it's for your wellness, something you really want to experience. It's change. Any change is stress. So now tell me that you're not stressed. Right? It's okay to be stressed. Let's just go, hey, it's stress. So how am I kind to myself? How am I in relationship with myself? It's pain. It's pleasure. Oh, I'm in pleasure. I'm blissing out. Oh, I'm in pain. My foot really hurts today. No difference. Information, right? So this is sort of like a carry on from Tuesday. I'm just trying to show you, but you're going to feel it now. So, all right, let's get into this protocol before we get too far into anything else. But just a bit of background for you. So when Triple Warmer puts his sword down, he can then go into his high role, which is a neutral role, which is beyond the earth. We've got polarity, or the yin yang. There you go, yin yang, polarity. When we are stressed or shock comes in, there is a separation. Okay. In the program Subliminal Stress and Visible Shadow, I go into depths of this, and I think also in the other one, the Mystic Medicine Woman. So you can go and have a look at those. On Instagram, it's in my tree link, so you can just go and have a look, see if you want to do those. But there is a separation of the polarity. Love and fear separates. Something else happens, separates. Something else happens, separates. What's death? Does anyone know what death is? The physical death, the human death. Do you know? How would you in a few words describe what death is? So while you do that, I'll tell you, but I still want your interaction, because when you're interacting and when you're sort of thinking, you're receiving more, right? To be on this earth, leaving physical body, soul essence leaving the physical body. Okay. Awesome. So what if I told you it's the loss of polarity? So to be on earth, I mean, there's many ways to describe it. This is just how I'm going to say it to you, how I see it. We have that polarity to be here on the earth, right? So those of you that were here on Monday, I keep saying Tuesday, on Monday, it was all about the polarity, love and fear, and the emotions and the frequencies and how that works in trauma therapy and the window of tolerance and all of that. It's the opposites, right? North Pole, South Pole, left, all of this. So there's duality as well, but let's stick with polarity. And so when we're shocked or there's a stress to the system, there's a little separation happening over time. Now, what's in between that yin yang? Oh, I'm looking for it. You see me looking around for a whiteboard. It's over there. I want to draw. But I want to get onto the protocol. So we can talk about this maybe another day. There's that separation. What's holding? It's almost like, for me, I see it as a weaving in between positive, negative, positive, negative. Where's the neutral? It's within it. And so as this happens, the energy or the neutrality, our ability to neutralize, right? But what is that? It is like the essence, like what Rebel's saying. It's hard to give it a name. We could say aspect of soul. It's a part of us that lives on, is in infinite. What's finite is what's polarized. What has polarity is of the earth. Everything of polarity is of the earth. And that neutral is of all there is, the no thingness. Okay. So let's go back to triple warmer. Oh, do we have reverence for it? Do we? I hope so. Yeah, the radiant circuit of triple warmer has a massive release. Yeah. So with the reverence of this system that keeps us alive and functioning and flowing, right? But when it gets disrupted, we'll create all sorts of other enjoyments, I was going to say. Right? Some of you love the distractions. I know. You can't. I mean, I see you. Human beings love the distractions. You know what we do? I'll tell you what we do, because I know well. I used to get back home from work when I was a social worker, and I'd be so wound up. I'd take a garbage bag into the paddock, right? And I would weed the paddock, not just for fun. Certain weeds kill llamas. And so, but I would do that. I would have this horrific day, and I'm not one to sit still. Funny, yogini and all the rest of it, right? Meditate every day, all the rest. I had to, it's not like I don't go straight to it. I would rather go for a walk, or like I'm actionable. Like I'm like, woo, I'm a fire element, you know? I don't want to sit omming. That's why a lot of the meditations, pretty much all my meditations, are activations. So even though you're sitting still, you're working channels, and right, it's still not. So, all right, where was I? So we're loving up triple warmer so that we can have the plug, the earthing, and the ability to be heaven and earth. However you want to try and put the two together, all right? Merge, right? We're merging. All right, so let's settle down. Take a deep breath. Let me have a drink. Have a sip of water or have a drink first. And this is really going to be meditative, and so take some breaths. And just be in reverence for your whole system, because we're going to touch into some others. So some of you, like Deb, you'll know this. None of this is new. It's stuff I've been teaching for a long time. But it's a reminder. Are you doing it? You might know it, but are you doing it? Okay. Let's just start with taking 3 breaths in. Let's take 3 breaths in. So hold for 3, and then breathe out for 3. You can work up to 8. 8 in, hold for 8, 8 out. So if you can't do 8, so I'm going to do 8, but if you can't do 8, start with 2 or 3 or 4 and work your way up. And you can even keep going to the 1 minute breath, which is 20 in, 20 hold, 20, right? That takes a lot of practice, but even just a breath in, hold, and a breath out, you'll feel, just notice that, how you feel. So let's just do 2 rounds of 8 in, hold for 8, 8 out, and then we'll get into our next piece. So and then in for 8. Hold for 8. And then release for 8. Some of you might feel like you can do 10. Some may only get to 6, wherever you're at. And then you can extend the breath. But now just feel. How do you feel? Has it brought you in? Has it brought you down? Do you feel a little heavier? Those of you that are fire elements probably don't like feeling heavy. However, just bringing it down a little bit. And you'll see the shift in me from that full fire, that full flame of like, yeah, joy, right? Because that's the fire element state, is this joy and like bigness, and right. When I breathe, it brings the earth in and some of the other elements in. Okay, stabilize that a little so I don't completely consume you all, right, with the energy. So let's rub our hands together. Let's start at the chin. Just bring your hands to the chin. And then we're going to come up to the hairline. And breathe. You can actually place your hands on your face for a moment if you like, because you'll pick up stomach as well in another way. And then come across. And then around the back of the ears. And then the back of the ears. And come to the chest and breathe. Just notice. Let's do that again. Going up. Just hold the face for a moment. With the fingertips at the hairline, bringing those fingertips around to the temple, around the backs of the ears, down the neck, cross over. Be soothing those meridians. A little trace backwards of the triple warmer to calm him down a little, touching into stomach, coming to the thymus just to rest and receive that and allow the placing down of the protector. I just got a vision of taking the plastic off the couch. Bizarre. Yeah, people put plastic on the couch. Yeah. You could take the plastic off the couch. It'll be really comfortable, even just for an hour. I don't know where that came from, but anyway. We'll just go there. Just gonna let it happen. Okay, so now we're going to bring our fingers on the belly. So Instagram, I'm not sure you can see me. Maybe I can see if I can lower. Deb, can you see my fingers on the belly? Anyway, if you can't see my fingers, so I've got my fingertips in the belly button. Now I'm going to go out an inch and up an inch, roughly, right? You can't see it? All right, let me just see if I can move. Nope, still can't see it. All right, let's see. Okay, can you see me now? Okay, in the belly. Just make sure I'm decent covering. Okay. So about an inch, I don't know. And I used to say 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters. I don't know, what's an inch? About 6 centimeters. All right. Anyway, you can see roughly. A little bit out, a little bit up. And then we're going to push in. We're going to massage deeply. Okay. Massage slowly and deeply. Some of you, it will hurt. Now, if it really hurts, so you can even do this. See how I'm coming together and pulling out? 2.5 centimeters to 1 inch. All right, I don't know. I'll have to measure it. Okay, so mine are there. I can feel them. So let's see how far it is. There's my belly button. So that far up, that far up. It's about 5 centimeters. Okay, so it's a few inches, 2 inches, whatever it is. Here we are at our adrenal neurolymphatics, right? Correlated to the adrenal glands. Massage. So you can bring your fingers together and pull them out. You might feel it that way. If you feel some sort of, like, it's almost like, you know, when you've got a sore muscle and it's massaged and it hurts real good. Some of you would be like, oh no, that hurts. So no, I'm not doing it. If that's the case, just place your fingers gently on it and just be with those. If that hurts that bad or that good that you can't touch them, you need support. If these points are so tender. So what I'm going to say to you is, this is an energy medicine first aid, right? So you can massage them or hold them. If it's so sore, just hold them all the time. Going around the house, hold them all the time, right? But if you can massage them, you can tell me in a moment after you've massaged them for a bit. You don't want to create extra stress for your system. So if it's really like impacting you, just hold them, right? If it's that much pain, just hold them and you'll feel it. Like those of you, so I'm going to ask you some questions and you can answer me when I go in between. Did it hurt? If it did and you were still able to massage them, did you feel any little, sometimes you can feel like little balls or little stones in there, or little pellets, or I don't know what you would call it. I just call them little balls of energy, right? Almost like tiny little, you'll feel like little balls in there. And it's like, you're almost like, you know, when you massage in between your fingers and there's all that buildup, it's energetic, but it's also like these little crystallizations, right? You can feel it in there. So who of you are feeling that? You can tell me in a moment. And if it's so sore that you can't massage them, and even to touch them is sore, just so gently, just bring love to them, just with your fingers. Your hands are like magnets, right? Just bring, and you might just feel the heat. So whatever's going on for you, just make a mental note and share with me so I know where you're at, because if you share with me, then I can sort of adjust things specifically for what you're experiencing, right? And breathe. Make sure you're breathing. Breathe deeply, slowly and deeply. Loving your system. So this point, we just call them the adrenal points, but they're neurolymphatics that are connected to the adrenals, right? Oh, 2.54. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Eric. Everyone's telling me how much an inch is. Feel it. And I feel all this warmth there. I need this. I was saying to Eric this morning, actually, you know, I'm going to teach you things That this isn't, I just don't make it up. These are things that I do, that I, you know, when I feel like I've been through everything you can imagine in the like I get hit all the time, right? And it's about, okay, life's going to come and go for you and for the people around you. And sometimes, you know, it feels difficult. All we can really do is accept that that's our life. That's life. What a magnificent miracle you are, we are, for us to be here. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that, but just thank you. Thank you for my life. Thank you for your life, right? It's going to come and it's going to go. So what we can do is navigate, okay, learn a little bit about our system. You don't have to go, you don't have to spend your whole life, you know, learning to be a medical doctor or something, or even an energy practitioner. But there are things you could do like this. So this is the adrenals. So now we're going to go back to, just slide back down to the belly button. If you don't have a belly button, because many people don't, for numerous reasons, where your belly button would be, go to that place and go the same distance out and the same distance down. So let's say 2 inches, because it's about 5 centimeters for me, right? It's roughly. So we're going down. So from the belly button, you're just going to go out about 5 centimeters, or that would be 2 inches roughly from what people are telling me, and the same down. And you're going to, and it'll be, for me, I've got a lovely belly there. I love my belly. Look at my belly, right? It's those sort of moundy bits, you know, where it goes like that. Some of you might have beautiful flat stomachs too, but I've got a beautiful voluptuous stomach, right? I got a goddess stomach. There's all sorts of goddesses, all sorts of shapes, all sorts of sizes. But for me, it's like you can feel where it is. So on you, what's your body like where those points are? And just notice, oh, that's where there's these little mounds, right? Or whatever it is for you. Now we're going to push in. And this takes a little bit more because we've got muscle there. Some of us, well, we've all got muscle there, but some's more than others, right? And we've got a lot of protection or fat or voluptuousness there. Cortisol. This is a linking into the cortisol, right? All the points that are correlating to our cortisol. Why do we have an extra little roll of something there, most of us, right? Most of us are going through a lot of stress, unless you're going to the gym and working out all the time, or you're, yeah, even if you're a yogini, you know, you're going to have strong muscles there, but because of the nadi or the nabi point, right, working that. Push in, massage deeply. Now, this takes some strength, because you're going to have to get through a lot of that stuff, right? But you'll find it. You'll find it. It'll be like, oh, there it is. That one hurts a little bit. Or like I can feel, oh, that feels really good when I massage there. Yep, that's it. If you don't, just massage it. If you don't need it, this isn't going to hurt you, right? So you're going to continue to massage. And do the same thing. Like, do you feel, you can rub as well. Like if you push in and rub to the side, like that's sometimes easier for people. Just depends what you got to get through to get there, right? And sort of feel around. So you're pushing in, you're pulling apart, you're pushing, pulling, massaging. You could do circles. Some people say to do circles. You can do circles, but I find circles are more difficult personally, right? I'm just going to lean on the wall here. I'm leaning on the wall. I'm massaging my cortisol points. Yeah, right? And we're breathing, we're breathing, we're breathing. So I'm just reading the messages. Interesting, had a release of heat from cortisol point. Guess that I needed that. Well, I needed it. Yes, you needed it. Funny, haha, I love it. See, we're just gonna love how our body is, regardless of how it is. Okay. Regardless of how it is. I'm tired. Well, thank you for my tiredness, because it's showing me I need rest. Oh, the story I was going to tell you before. So continue rubbing, or if it's really, really sore, you can just hold it. But let us do, I'm not timing this, but a good few minutes. And just feel into that. I might need to move my fan. Or you could bring your hands there. We were doing the penetrating flow yesterday. I'll teach you that another day, but and just where you can place your hands and feel. So I talked about, on Monday, I touched on adrenaline and cortisol, or the, and some research on that, and, how when our cortisol response is to sort of assist to bring us down in some ways, like that it's another stress response or stress correction, you could say, right? But when we're in that, there's a lot going on for a long time, so you don't really get time to rest and recover. We can deplete that cortisol response, and then that will create all sorts of other issues. So adrenal health, cortisol health, or hormonal health, all sorts of, I was going to say before, when we are tired and we just keep going, like you're tired and you go, oh, but I got to clean the house. So you clean the whole house. Your body needs to rest, and you say yes to something for someone, and you go off and deplete even more. Right? So we started off with, do you trust yourself? Do you hold your word to yourself? If you don't hold your word to yourself, there's, we say in Australia, Buckley's chance of you being able to hold your word for others. And if you don't have character, a strong character, you will see someone's character when the shift happens, when the shift hits the fan, you'll see someone's character. And if that character isn't, so lovable, then maybe there's something that you could work on. And this could be part of it, because triple warmer will hold the pattern of how you react in stress. And if how you react in stress is to impact other people around you and decimate yourself, then I hope this is helpful. Even just to hear somebody say that, sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm calling people out. I'm calling myself out. I am you. I'm like, do I hold my word? Am I a woman of my word? Am I a person of my word? What is my character? And my goal in life is to continue to work on being somebody you can rely on. Somebody that when she says something, she will go, she will, what's that? She will, right? So where are we? Cortisol. So take a note. Did that feel good? Did you have a response? Did you start to sweat? Did you get heat? Did you get cool? Did you feel a release? Some of you are telling me you did. take a few breaths. We're going to go in. I'm just seeing this. Oh, that's a different post. Okay, so now we're going to, let me see what's on this one. So I can see the chat here. Oh, number ceiling arts. All right, who's there? Oh. Okay. Oh, there's Unconditional Love watching. All right, there you are. I was wondering where you're watching from. Okay, so next. So make a little note. Oh, felt heat with cortisol. Yeah. So this is a protocol. I know I'm dragging it out a bit. We've only done a couple of things. So, right, triple warmer Vegas or triple warmer smoothie, right? Either one. But we came back to here. Adrenal points, cortisol points. Yeah. Now we're going to take our 3-finger notch. Might bring Instagram up a little bit now because they're literally navel gazing. My navel. 3-finger notch, both hands. We're going to put one, it doesn't matter which one, in the navel, belly button. And the other one just at the notch, the neck notch, right? That soft spot, the bottom of the neck before it goes into the collarbone and the rib cage, right? So just not pressing in. You don't need to press in, just holding. And I'm going to lean back on the wall. You can lean back in wherever you're sitting. Hopefully you're not standing. The reason why I say, I mean, you can do it standing, but if it's the first time, it's nice to sit. You can even do this laying down. You can do it in bed. Some of this stuff I would do, you know, a lot of the stuff I do is as I'm going to bed and as I'm waking up. You know, you can do all of it laying in bed. You might even fall asleep, and that's fine too, right? So, and just breathing. And this particular point at the neck connects in or correlates with triple warmer. It's another way to connect in with that meridian. Helps with our stress response. Breathing. You can close your eyes or look out the window at nature or the birds or a favorite picture or something that is calming and soothing. If I'm calming and soothing, you can look at me, but maybe I'm not because I tell you what's for. I remind you that you're worth it, right? I remind you that you're a miracle. I remind you that you're you know, that you must be kind to yourself. Oh, okay. So somebody's saying when they held the adrenal points, I got pain in stomach 35. Interesting, because we're going to go to stomach 36 shortly, which is part of the sedating of triple warmer. So they got pain at stomach 35, which possibly could have been stomach 36, right? On the outside of knee. Oh, on the outside of knee. Yeah, that's 35. As holding into the eternal notch point, the pain shot off my second toe with his stomach. So, so my stomach meridian, thank you. Yes. So you go, stomach meridian, almighty stomach meridian, we love you. You know, that cartoon? No, it was a show. Oh, Mighty Isis. I remember when I was about 9 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. Anyway, it was the anniversary. I posted it. It was the anniversary of that show. And Shazam, anyone remember? I forget what it was called. I just remember she would say, "Oh, Mighty Isis," and then it would be this like lightning bolt and all this as a little kid. And then there was Shazam, where they'd put their rings together, and there was the camel, Kaboobly. I can't remember my times tables, but I can remember all the cartoons and all the songs. Oh, go figure. Funny. All right, so almighty triple warmer, almighty stomach meridian that keeps me grounded and conducted. So Deb, if you know the different conductive points on stomach, I would look at those too. So yeah, working the second toe. There's a conductor, an earth conductor that comes off second toe and goes into the earth. Right, these are advanced and earthing, so which I'm not teaching today. However, they are in subliminal stress and visible shadow. I'm just like, oh yes, that's what I taught. I taught all that stuff, right? So, all right. How do you feel with that one? So let's move to, so we're going to do mellow mudra. Sometimes, so I still call it mellow mudra. It can be called triple warmer reactivity pose. But hey, don't you like mellow mudra? Like I'm feeling real mellow sitting on the floor here. I changed the room so that I could teach yoga from the same place, you know, sitting on the floor. And this is sort of yoga, right? You know, so we got our mellow mudra. So what we're doing is taking our pointer finger to our thumb. You can, this is how I do it, right? Can take your pointer finger nail to the thumb. Pointer finger nail to the thumb. And then you're placing your thumb on your temple. Why the temple? It is what? Triple warmer spot. This is where the meridian flows. So if we hold there and then we place the rest of our fingers on our forehead, there's lots of points here, but the two main, Donna even calls them, oh my God, points. You know, they calm the system. So we're just going to sit here for a moment, breathing. Shazam, yeah. I used to love that. My favorite animal is a camel, and hence my mum said you can have a camel if you can look after it, but our fences were not so great. We used to do agistment for horses, so there was always horses and cows on our property, but the camels are a different creature. That's why I love them so much. So like I have a whole relationship with the camelid family, which is llamas, alpacas, and these other ones that look like deers and camels. And that's why I became the llama whisperer. So I used to train llamas, right? It's all energetics, all energetics. That's how I could train animals, dogs mainly, and llamas. I even had a frisbee for my llama. I was teaching her frisbee. I didn't quite get there, but but I would shear her hand. One of them, I would hand shear her. I just you couldn't, like, no one could catch her. People tried to steal her. They cut the fences to steal her numerous times, and I'd find her up the street. You know, she'd never go with her. You couldn't catch her, but I could walk up to her and just hand shear her. La 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 la, right? Why? Because if I caught her, it would activate her stress response, and then I'd be fighting with her. I don't want to fight with her. I'm like, it's up to you. Do you want to swelter through the summer, or do you want your fleece off you, right? Come on, and I'd just walk around and shear her. All righty. So you could stay here for 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know how long we've been here. Maybe we just stay here a little bit longer. Some of you will really need it, and you'll feel, maybe you'll yawn. You might even burp or have like an indigestion type feeling. That's energy moving. You might feel like a draining. It's almost like sometimes when you work with triple warmer, especially the next one we're going to go into, it feels like it's like water running from your head down the back of your head and down your body. It's like this of energy, right? So that was Mellow Mudra. And we're holding the main neurovasculars, but each finger relates to a meridian, toes as well, and face also, but different meridians. And, you know, we're linking them all up in a particular way for a particular outcome. So, but all you need to know is that you do that if you're feeling really stressed, or you've had a shock, or you have a symptom that you know, you're not sure about, and you just want to calm your system, right? Because stress is what creates difficulty in the body, and if it keeps going, creates disease. Okay, so tell me what you experienced there, and we'll move on to the next one. The next one we have to do a little bit more movement. So this will be probably the last one, but we're going to hold it for a while. So it'll probably be another maybe 10 minutes doing this protocol, and then we can have a chat about it, and then we'll end. Okay. So I'm going to have a little stretch because I've been sitting. With the previous one, my stomach, which I don't have, started making noises. My stomach, which I don't have, started making noises. Oh, interesting. Yeah, sometimes when I'm moving energy for you, what happens in me, and sometimes you'll see it on a live and stuff, like if I touch into stuff or I'm talking to you and there's a release of energy from that interaction, it's not quite a burp. It's more like it's like there's energy comes up, and it's like it's like this movement in me, and that's a release. Yawning is as well. Some people, one lady I know, when she would do her protocols on people, she burped. So she really loudly, and there's a lot of energy practitioners. I don't know anyone watching here that works with energy, and that's your release, you burp. I don't have that much. How it moves through my body, it's almost like, you know, as long as my tailbone is free, right? So sometimes I used to tap my tailbone before I would work to make sure. It's almost like the tripod of energy, so holding me, and it'll come through, and it can move through that into the ground. But sometimes it comes up through here. So some of the comments, nice and calming as all the, oh, that just jumped. Nice and calming as all the hammers and saws are going on around me. Yeah, I just had some whippersnippering. I could hear the, you know, grass clearing. Pardon me. When you saw the plastic coming off the couch, I had just removed plastic from the glass door before we installed them, not long before the live. Yeah. All I saw was plastic. It reminded me of plastic on the couch. There you go. There's some confirmation. But I just got to laugh because it's like, I don't know where it's coming from. It doesn't really matter, but it's sort of a bit of fun when, you know, it's like one of you, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I just did that. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad your renovations are on the way. You're getting all that done. It's awesome. All righty. what are we doing now? Are you in your joy? Are you in your joy yet? Or there's still some shift happening? Okay, so a lot of this we're touching into stomach. We don't talk about stomach. Look, I'm just gonna, I laughed through it. It was neat, yeah. We're just gonna say, almighty stomach. Do you know the brilliance of the stomach energy? I should do a whole thing just on stomach. We tend to go triple warmer or spleen. Rarely we talk about pericardium or circulation sex. It's the same thing. It's just some people, if you Googled it, it's, you know, I tend to say pericardium. That's the other arm. That's triple warmers, like yin. We don't talk about her very much. And I believe the reason why, and some of these energies is because, well, what I found is when I was learning and when I was going through different things, and, you know, I went through multiple schools of different ways of knowing, you know, kinesiology, ITA, energy, Eden energy, pranic healing. I'm a yogini through, you know, Kundalini yoga teacher, hatha yoga, you know, I've right. But everything seemed to be for other people. Everything seemed to be for other people. Didn't work for me. That's how I know. That's how I know sort of alternative bits and pieces, and just started bringing that in. And even in those schools, I would say, well, you know, if we work it this way or that way, do you know what I mean? So it's like looking at that. I didn't have a normal, the general, it's normal, but a general stress response. I had a cortical stress response, not the adrenal type one, right? Which means that long-term stress, PTSD type stuff, right? I'm ex-military. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I've had all this stuff. I cured myself, right? No medications, all of that. I'm not against it, but I was determined, and I did. It took time, but in that time of every day working my system, doing yoga, working my system, particular breath work, all of that, not only cured myself, but my abilities were like exponential. When Triple Warmer puts his tools down, puts his weapons down, he becomes this magnificent energy that can bring you into the heavens. You sort the earth out, the polarity, right? The yin yang, love for you. And you have access so heaven and earth can merge. Because when you're stressed, remember I was saying, I haven't taught it this way before. I love this. Lately, I've been coming out with all these new ways of teaching. It's like awesome. And I've got pages and pages of writing, and I'm like, oh. So I'm just having all these downloads. It's really it's fun for me anyway. So when we have the separation, eventually that's death, and the polarity goes back to the earth. So that's earth to earth, ashes to ashes, you know, and back to the soil. When we're in that positive, negative, neutral relationship, where's my figure eight? You're here somewhere because I used it yesterday. There you go. Oh, you can't see it. The figure eight, positive, negative, neutral, in that center where we can be in that meditative mind. In yoga, we talk about this meditative mind, or the neutrality, the neutral mind. That's that place where we merge and we can see all of it together. So, oh, I'm in pain. Oh, I'm in pleasure. Oh, there's some pain here. what happens is we go, oh, that feels uncomfortable. Holy moly. Right? That's what happens. Is it not? Is it not what happens? We spiral into the deep, dark underbelly of our story and our trauma and the people before us, trauma, 5 generations of trauma. I don't know. We go places, right? I know. I can speak about this because I know it directly. Right? It's right there. That's why I have authority on this. I'm a master of, I have mastery in stress and trauma in my life. Right? What makes you a master? 1,000 hours. I'm a master in anxiety, a master in pain, a master. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who are you? What are you a master in? Worry, projection, dysregulation. Just claim it as, oh, okay, I'm here to master that. I've mastered it. Now I can move on. What's next? What's next? What's next? Okay, let's master stomach. Stomach. Oh, stomach. I have such a beautiful relationship with stomach because it has screamed at me most of my life. One reason is because I am a very fire element. I'm very much in my fire right now. I don't know if you can notice, but this is fire, okay? The chuckle, right? All that fire element. It's joy, okay? The next one round is stomach and spleen, is earth, right? So fire, earth. Earth is our earthing too. So on the stomach meridian, we have places to connect and earth. And one of them I mentioned is off the second toe. So many of you will have irregular energies on the second toe. Now, this wasn't part of the protocol, but we're going to add it. Okay. So what you're going to do, you know how we flip like a magnet? Some of you may not, but you know, your hands are like a magnet and you can flip. Go to the toenail, the top of the toenail of your second toe. And if you don't have a second toe, where it would be, because energetically it will still be there. And some of you have toes missing, right? My great aunt had her big toe missing. And I know people who have, you know, feet missing. So, and just do it 3 or 4 times. You're just flipping, just use your, you know, 1 or 2 fingers. I tend to use 2 fingers. And just flip there. Actually look at your toes, your toenail, and notice if there's any irregularity in the physical. It might be that one side of the skin is a bit pink or a bit swollen, or you have a red dot or a growth or something. Did you know that often when a meridian is misaligned, there will be a physical indicator to that? And so with mine, I had on the left toe, on the left side of it was just a little bit sort of fatter than the other one. It didn't hurt or anything. It was just a slightly different shape. No one else would notice, but I did. When I started working on my system more, particularly for that earthing, through that, there's a conduit that comes down off the second toe into the earth, right? So that stomach meridian is another place where we not hook into the earth. So remember I talked about the soot. I know the people I'm looking at on Zoom, you'll remember I talked about the burning up of, you know, and the release into the earth. That is one conduit that we can release, you know, the energy that we no longer need back into the earth. And she loves that. She feeds off that. It's that relationship, that symbiotic relationship. When that's not functioning or in flow, or it's misaligned for some reason, there's an irregularity in that second toe, that the end of the stomach meridian, that energy ping pongs around your system and creates a lot of electricity, a lot of heat, a lot of all sorts of stuff. So someone's saying, interesting, medial side on big toe was not wide as the lateral side. Yeah. Oops, second toe. Yeah. You'll notice. And so if you know how to energy test, you could test yourself, or you could just do that. Okay. You could just flip the fingers. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave stomach, because I'm going to do a whole thing on stomach. I feel that stomach needs to have a little bit more devotion, a little bit more reverence, right? Irregularity energy in the toe. So did you test that, Deb? I'm assuming you tested it, because you're saying that with like authority. And I know you know how to test. So interesting, right? So you could look at your fingers, your your hand, like, I mean, if you know the energy systems, if you don't, but it's just an indication. Like, your body will show you. And if it's been out for a while, there will be, she's saying, yeah, she tested. There will be some, and if you, it's not that you're seeing subtle energy, although that is, if you can just see a very small movement or difference from one side to the other, you could, I guess, assume, but we generally always test, but you know, there's stuff that you don't need to test. You can just do it. It won't hurt you. So that's one of them. And why do I know that? Because that's what I experienced myself. And I used to get stomach migraines, right? I get stomach migraines that start in my stomach. And what I found is if I flipped my stomach like this, so there's a stomach point here, sort of between the belly button and the bottom of the sternum. So you could sort of go, in kinesiology, we'd do that and then go the center point, right? That's how you find it. But it's pretty much over the stomach, right? There's a stomach point there. So those of you that have any stomach issues or anything that is generally related to stomach, put your hand on that stomach point. It's the stomach alarm point for those of you that know that. But literally you can go bottom of sternum into your belly button, and it's the center, right? And just hold. I would flip 3 or 4 times and then hold it. Why? Because every point on your body and muscle can be irregular, have irregularities, right? Talked about that the other day. I think last week it was, we went into irregularities and stuff, right? It just means it's not pushing and pulling in the way that it needs to get its nutrients or to get what it needs out, right? So just sitting there feeling your stomach, anyone feeling heat or coolness or having any other sensations, just notice. Breathe. And then we're going to go on to the last piece of the protocol. I just added this thing because obviously, you know, if Deb's saying hers was irregular, she needed it. So you see how it comes in. It's like, I don't know whose it is because I'm not stopping to ask, but it comes in like that. So when you show up, you can either ask me or, you know, it's possible that I'll feel it and go that way anyway, but, you know. So you could do this anywhere if you're just feeling anxious or out of sort, you're not feeling grounded. You know, when you're doing your feet, your grounding protocol for your feet, add in the little flip on the second toe to make sure that conduit is, right? Do you know what a conduit is? Things need to be earthed, like your refrigerator, all electrics need to be earthed. And these are the systems that assist this human system to be earthed. Otherwise, we have all sorts of electrical issues going on. That buzzing and that, you know, the stress. I mean, we might call it stress, but energetically, these energies are doing particular things. So, all right. Feeling that move through. So if you feel like you need this, do it later, do it longer, you know, or you could do it regularly, short periods of time, but, you know, so I can feel that just move through. So we'll move on. This one is going to take about 10 minutes. So you can either come back or watch the replay or do it with me. So take a sip of water. We're moving energy. Water is a conductor. We're going to do, so for those that know it, sedating points for triple warmer. So we can either strengthen or sedate a meridian. And when a meridian's on too much, we generally sedate it. You can sedate and sedate, or strengthen, sedate, strengthen. You know, you can move them, but we're going to sedate today. The caveat on this: some people may need to strengthen. So we'll do something afterwards in case, you know. So back in the day, I wouldn't do this for myself, because my triple warmer was both needed to be sedated and strengthened. It was both. I know, go figure. But some of you will be that too. Now, that triple warmer vagus, or that triple warmer sort of soothing, is a great one for if that's happening for you. So we've already done that. So if that's the case, you would have felt something doing that. Yeah. So Deb's saying me too. It's always the way. The people that are drawn to me, that's the reason. You're drawn because the systems have a similarity, or your body goes, oh, I know that one. I know her. She's got that sorted. So we'll listen here, right? It's just how it is. So people would come and see me, and it's almost like, have you heard that, you know, when you start a practice or something, it's almost like what you need to master is who comes to you. Have you heard that? It's like if you've got diabetes, you just start getting all these people that have got diabetes, or whatever it is, right? My thing was stress response. I was in a high stress job. I was in the military, you know, trauma, you know, out in the field, doing all this. So I had to master my nervous system to be able to continue doing the work and not, you know. So, and because of all of that, my system got into patterns that were different to the average person, because average people don't live that sort of life. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it's just like going into combat every day in your civilian life, because that was the sort of trauma work that I did. I was going into the field and I was working with homeless families, and you know, it's like just a lot of stress, right? The finger points back at you. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why when I'm really going, hey people, right? I'm saying me too. I'm human. Okay, so where are we going to start? Put this phone up here. I don't think there's. Oh, Kim's on there too. Hey, Kim. All right, so calming triple warmer and the adrenal and cortisol. So the first point, I'm going to do it this way. So you've got your elbow, right? Your pointy elbow. Some of you don't have a pointy elbow. That's all right. It's like you just move slightly back and there's a little dent. All right. So that's the point we're going to hold, but I never usually teach that. I just say, put your pinky right at the end of, and just put your hand there, right? So you're holding, see the point of my elbow is sort of hanging out the end. So that's one point. So just on one side. So choose a side. I'm going to do my right side. So I'm holding my right elbow. And then the second point, which is sort of what Deb was alluding to earlier, she was saying it was triple warmer 35, but we're doing 36. How you find it, you put the butt of your hand on the kneecap and drop it. Sort of splay your fingers out a little bit, and where the ring finger falls, and it will be on the outside of that bone, right? You've got the bone, and where my ring finger has fallen, right? That point there is stomach 36. Now, the easy way, I'm just telling you for the nerds of you out there, but the easy way is basically to put your hand across just under the kneecap, you know, so you got your kneecap, and then there's a bone there, just sort of under there, and it's in, the point's in there, so you're covering it. So you can either do that, find where the ring finger falls, and then put your hand there, but pretty much it's under the kneecap, right, under that the bone, and it's sort of to the side, right? So it's off to the side. So that's that point. Now we're going to hold both points together, and I'm going to time it. We'll do 2 minutes. So you're holding them together. So right leg and right elbow at the same time. And I'm going to lean on the wall. You can lay in bed on the side. I was telling someone this yesterday. You know, either side, find a comfortable spot. Often when I do this in bed, I wake up and I go, oh, I must have fallen asleep, right? And then I do the other side. It's no big deal. If you fall asleep, awesome, you know, and you don't even need to, you know, you just do as long as feels good for you. But I would say if you're really struggling and you're starting out, do at least 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, really get a good nourishing. Today we're just going to do 2 minutes, and you'll see. So just pay attention to how it feels. So I'm not sure if you can see on Instagram, but I described it. And I guess those of you watching on Instagram, if you want to go to Rhombus Healing Arts Facebook page, you can see the video there, and it will be clearer. And it's on YouTube too, but it's probably easiest just to go to Rhombus Healing Arts and breathe. So again, you might feel heat, you might feel cool. If you feel so we've held it for a minute already. If you don't feel any heat or any, it almost feels like nothing, or it even feels cold, especially the one on the leg. So Deb, how's yours feeling? You know, so what you're going to do, it's most likely irregular, frozen, right? Give it. So what I'm doing is just opening and closing my hand, or flipping my hand to get the polarity of stomach 37. So then I put my hand back on it, and now we've got flow. So it's able to receive when something's irregular. And so if you feel that on the elbow, you can do the same thing, just give it a flip. It just feels cold. And it's subtle. It's very subtle. So it's okay if you don't know. Just keep doing it, and do it. Like, this isn't something you do once or twice and you're good. You might need to do it for a month, every day for a month, or at least a couple of weeks. Do it if you have, or you've been what's it called, your doctor has said something about, although a lot of doctors don't acknowledge adrenal fatigue. But if they did, or if you feel that, or somebody else, your naturopath or whatever, you could do this multiple times a day. I'll bring in some other things on another day that will help too. It's not, just know it's not something you can do once or twice. We've been talking about this a lot lately around maintenance, and how in in certain like in Chinese medicine and whatnot, the practitioner would be paid when you're well, and when you got what's that? I switched to strengthening on the right side because it felt weavy off. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, sorry, I forgot. No, it's gone. Oh, maintenance. Yeah. So, we can work on something and then feel better, and then we stop doing it. Right? You with me? Oh, even yeah, practitioners paid only when well. There's maintenance, and especially if you've had chronic health, mental health, those sorts of things, it's maintenance. So when you start to feel better, don't go, oh, I don't have to do it anymore, because it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Unless your patterns in your world have changed, your energies are eventually going to go back to or not exactly, but they'll work their way back to the misalignment. Do you hear me? You don't have to come to me. There's lots of people out there you can go to, but just hear what I say about that. And then you go, oh, okay, I've got these symptoms again, I have to get help. Well, right? To keep someone humming, it's like when what do you do for your car? A lot of you probably don't take your car for regular maintenance. Just saying. Right? A car that's gone for regular maintenance is worth much more than a car that hasn't got a maintenance history. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So if we do our regular maintenance, so what do we need? And you innately will know what you're like. Are you a stressed person? Are you like, is it hormonal? Like, everyone's stressed, but is it hormones? Is it like women's business? Is it men's business? Men get hormonal imbalances too. If you're a man, or if you have a man in your life, a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a boss, a friend, they can do this too. This isn't just for women. The stress response disrupts hormonal, how the chemicals are released, right? The things that impact us most, stress response and our hormones. Hormones are the messengers. So if there's a disruption in the hormones, there's a disruption in our world, in us, which then goes into behavior, into the way we are, into our character, all of it. And you won't be your best self, right? Now, if you have a fear of love, you're probably okay with that. So I'm calling you out. If you say, oh, you know, I have a problem with this, but it's okay, I'll just muddle on. I'll just get on with it. I'm okay. How are you doing today? Yeah, I'm good. How are you really? I'm all right. I'm just getting on. Oh, okay. So how kind are you being to yourself? How respectful are you being to yourself? Are you keeping your word to yourself? Without your vehicle, you are no thing. You go back to the no thing, the Ein Sof, the all that is no thing. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. It's no thing, no matter, no thing. It's not nothing. Right? How do you care for yourself? So we've been here a lot longer than I thought, but maybe we needed to be. So we're going to cross over to the other side and do the same. So again, if I'm on my left side, I'm just going at the bottom of my elbow. Just putting my hand there. So go as close to that bone, the elbow bone, even if your pinky hangs over a little bit, because then you know you're really getting it, unless you got microscopic hands, but I don't think any of you do, but you could. And on the left side, so left elbow, left knee, and I'm coming to the kneecap, the edge of the kneecap with my edge of my palm, and I'm dropping my hand down, and where my ring finger falls, the tip of that is the point, and then I can just put my hand on it, or I can keep my hand there. Ergonomically, whatever's more comfortable for you. I find that it's sideways is most of the time comfortable for my arms, and then I can just rest my arms, and I could sit here for forever. So I've got no idea how long we went. So we just hold it. Give them a little flip just to get used to that. Give them a little flip just in case they're irregular. And we're calming the system. When our system's calm, our hormones can have a chance to balance. Our radiant circuit, our neutral mind has a chance to come in. So rather than the positive mind and negative mind separating even further, they're coming together, and the three minds have the capacity to work as one. What happens when the three minds work as one? We have supreme intelligence. Supreme intelligence, where all the minds are working together. We're nearly finished. We just got to do the end piece of this. So if you've done this, don't walk off because you're in a hurry. We need to do this next piece to finish it off. And the next piece is basically just to say you can stop now. So what we've started with the energetics for this triple warmer spleen. Just hold for another minute. Breathe. Notice what your head feel like, what your body feel like. Often you'll feel it in the head. It might be a tingling in the head, or feel like sometimes it felt like water running over the back of your head. like just trickles with this energy. You might feel a lot of people, I don't get this, but a lot of people over the years, they'll have this popping in their ear. Have you had popping, Deb? Maybe not. Some people, or you might have heard of people going, oh, there's a crackling in my ears or sort of in my head, a cracking or a popping. That's an aspect of triple warmer as well. So it's okay, just allow it, it's working its way. All right, so the next piece, we're going to come back to the left side, and between the ring finger and the pinky, on the palm, on the back of the hand, about halfway. So again, don't worry about too much about the spot. What I do is I use 3 fingers, and it's sort of where that middle finger is, will be around there, right? So you can use 2 fingers, but if you're really not sure where it is, you use 3 fingers and you're going to get it. Because, right? So it's between, it's called the gamut point or the fear point. It's another triple warmer point. So you're going to hold that one, and with the same hand, with the right hand, right, you're going to hold the baby toe, and I can't really show you, but you know the baby toe, right? If you don't have one, it's where it was. And just above the bone of the baby, you know, where the baby toe meets the foot, right? So the knuckle, just above the knuckle, you're going to place 2 fingers on the baby toe, okay? So you're going to hold, look, some people say the toenail. Usually I do the toenail, but we're going to do it this way today. So you're holding the gamut point, and with the same hand, you're holding the toe. So you're doing this, right? Oh, there you go. Instagram, it's in my foot. But do it ergonomically, right? So you could lay down on your side. Some of you may have troubles doing that, so you might need to get somebody to help you. You could sit cross-legged, right? If I sit cross-legged, actually, that's easier for me, sitting cross-legged, right? So I'm doing this, but I'm also very flexible. So it's like, where is it for you? Or you could put your foot on the floor and bend over. You don't have to do this very long. It's like 30 seconds to a minute. And it's just saying, okay, now you can, it's the control point. You can stop now. So I think that's long enough because I've been talking. So then we swap over to the other side and do the same. So we find the gamut point, which is in between the pinky and the baby finger and the ring finger. And on the back of the hand, in between those 2 bones, we find the mid place. And you could just place your 3 fingers there. Some of you will feel a pulse. And then with the left hand, so the right hand's holding the left hand, and then the left hand is going to go onto that baby toe. And you can use 3 fingers. It'll probably cover your whole toe. Make sure you get the point. It doesn't matter. And breathe. I'm just going to do this for like maybe 30 seconds or so. And then we'll finish with just tracing the spleen meridian. So the reason we're going to go into spleen, and then we'll complete, and you can ask questions or whatever, is that triple warmer can tend to pull. So we used to teach that triple warmer pulls first from spleen meridian, right? And that's been true for 10 years or something when I've, you know, what I've seen. But the last few years, what I'm seeing is a shift, this difference. So I'm shifting in how I teach it, right? Because the energetics of the human changing. I saw that with the earthing and all that. That's why I taught subliminal stress, because I saw how people weren't earthing, and there were those certain conduits that go into the ground that help us distribute what we've burnt up in our system back into the earth. And so we can pull up from her what we need and we give back to her. It's a symbiotic relationship. But when there's a blockage there, it just keeps going around like a pinball, you know. Do any of you play pinball when you were young? Oh, yeah, well, showing my age, but we used to play pinball. And that ball would bounce around so fast. That's what happens to the energy. And it can be really, it can start to burn up other systems. You know, it can start to be like rubbish in the system. And so there needs to be ways of bringing it in and releasing it. Right? Love, fear, love, fear. Oh, it's in everything. What? All right. So to finish off with the spleen meridian. So that was the triple warmer sedating points. And yeah, let's just do the spleen. So the reason I'm saying is because you know, we used to say that triple warmer would first pull energy from the spleen meridian. So whenever you're stressed, the spleen's being depleted, right? What I'm seeing, because I do scanning people's systems every day, pretty much every day, except weekends. And I'm noticing a lot of them have triple warmer out, but spleen's good. Other things are showing up. It's like there's this other thing happening, this other triangulation happening. And sometimes it's you know, the yin yang, triple warmer, circulation sex, and then kidney, or it's usually three. There's a triangulation. And when I'm working with somebody daily, you know, if there's chronic health or something, what I see is they might have like a bunch of stuff out, and then that's corrected, and then this other pattern starts to happen until there's a pattern of health. And it usually gets to like a triangulation, right? And I'm not seeing spleen as much as I thought I would. So it's just interesting. I'm just curious. I'm just putting it there, and I'm like, you know, still working that, but there's these different patterns happening, which over time give me information on certain conditions, right? You'll see certain patterns for certain conditions. You know what I mean? All right, so spleen. So take your hands, just like two little paddles, and you're going to go to the outside of your big toe. Outside of your big toe, right? Like this. Okay? You with me? So you could have your feet flat if you want. It's just the outside of the big toe. And then you're going to pull the hands just like this. You're just going to trace that energy with flat hands along the inside of the foot, up the inside of the legs, up the thighs, inside of the thighs, come up the groin, sort of come out to the side, to the hips, come up under the armpits, and then come down a little bit, and then do some figure eights. Or you could even, you know, it just depends how big you are, right? You could cross over, I don't know. You can thump it. You can massage. So actually just massage in there where your thumbs Well, I'm crooked, aren't I? There you go. Where your thumbs meet at the side of your body, right? It's generally where your bra would be if you wore one. There might be some men wear, yeah, no, they might wear, who knows? Some women don't wear bras. If you wore one, there would be a strap right there, and it's just above the strap. So give that a massage. If that hurts, spleen needs a little bit of extra love, right? So let's do it again. Come back to the, so we're going feet outside of the toe, right? Go, yeah. Okay. So you do that on both sides. Oh, Instagram probably didn't see that. Okay, so we're going big toes. And we're just going to slowly close your eyes and just draw that up the body to the groin, out to the hips, out to the side, up under the armpits, come down a little bit, draw a few little infinity or figure eights, give it a little thump or a massage. And if that's tender, take note, spleen needs a bit of extra love. While you're, so you can work triple warm, you can work your stress response either through spleen or through triple warm. There's different ways you can go, like, and often I don't go straight in for triple warmer because it can go hold stronger, right? So anyway, that's a whole nother story. This protocol, I know I've stretched it out a bit and I've added a few little extra bits in there. But see how you go. You can even play it fast forward. I think on YouTube, it's got the fast forward play, right? You can play fast forward. I might even edit this one and make it into like just a short little video eventually. So how did you go? How did you go? How do you feel? I should have got you to rate it. How do you feel? Do you feel vibrant? Do you feel tired? Just to let you know, when you start to work on getting their system into homeostasis, you can feel even tireder than you were. Make a note, but also know that the adrenaline or the adrenal response is like a second wind. It keeps you going to be able to run and fight and bite and scream and survive, right? So you don't know how tired you are until you lower that. And then what you're being shown is how you really feel. And then you can take considered action in your next step, rather than just going, oh, I've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, got to do. It's like, oh, stop. Oh, wow, I'm really tired. Okay, how can I soothe and care for myself? So relax with lots of yawning, tired too. Yeah, some of you will probably continue to yawn as there's energy moving. Feel tired for a while. I think it was when we were on stomach and elbow, then flipped and felt better. Now I feel awake and relaxed. Yeah. So those of you that are feeling still a little not so, right? Just do a triple, do this one, or come to the eyebrows, push in, pull across, come back around. So this is triple warmer smoothie, but here is where we touch into the vagus nerve. And just finish here. Just finish here. So if you're getting a lot of heat, a lot of heat, let me know. Sometimes when you're doing the exercise, you can get a lot of heat, but it tends to settle down. if you're really burning, this triple warmer is it like your temperature control is, if it's all out of whack, right? It's hormonal. Your hormones are all out of whack. So we're at the belly button, and this one you go straight down, about 5 centimeters, right? Straight down and push in. So you do this when you're having a hot flush, a fever, or you're doing these exercises and you just get really hot, right? And just push in and hold. So we just hold. So if you get night sweats, so if your hormones are out in that way, but if you do this little routine, it'll start to balance. It'll start to balance that. So if you do it, or if you watch the replay and you do it, put in the chat. You can still contact me. Put in the chat.
My earpod just died, so I don't think you'll be able to hear me now. Can you still hear me, Rebel? Yeah. Okay. It must be time to wrap up. All right. I'll just have to yell. Hey. So I was just saying that if you have stuff happen, if you're worried about it, go to the doctor, but you should be going to the doctor or your health care professional if you're worried about anything anyway, right? This is first aid. This is first aid. If you got more entrenched stuff, contact me. But if you have like these hot things, like, it's just tweaking what your energetics need. But I will put that caveat in, enter at own risk and, always see a health professional if you're worried about something, right? Don't just go, oh, this chick on Instagram told me to do this, so I did, right? Ask me. If you're not sure, ask me, right? I have many people contacting me from emergency, calling me and saying, I've got this going on and that going on. And I'll say, where are you? Are you, have you seen a doctor? Have you seen, right? Yep, I'm sitting in emergency. I say, all right, well, now do this. And it won't be anything medical. It's always been energetic, but they weren't sure. So they did that for themselves, which is great. And that's what I would recommend. If you think you're having a heart attack, go and get help. And if nothing shows, then call me and I'll tell you what it is. Or on your way there, there are things. There are a lot of things that you can do, like I say, as first aid. And I talk about it a lot. So, but I just want, don't be silly with your health, right? If you're worried, go and see somebody or ask me. And then I'll say, go and see somebody. or I'll give you some things to try. And if they don't work, then go and see somebody, right? It's first aid. Unless I'm working with you one-on-one, that means I'm working intimately with you and I know what's going on for you and your ups and downs and whatnot, right? These are first aid. Cannot stress it enough. So, you feel good? How are we doing? I'm just checking the chat. Check this one too. All right. Any questions or anything before we wrap up? Anything that you're confused about or you want some clarification on? I'll give you a moment. Those of you that are on some of the others, was that Jennifer Jean? I'm just on the restream. I can't see the name of the people, but you said mahalo, and I think that's you. You usually say that. So, All right. Well, if you've missed the beginning, you can go back and watch the replay. And I go back now and then and just check if there's comments or questions. So, all righty, we good? Let me just check this one. So many pages. No. No questions? If you're typing, just let me know. I'll be watching the replay. Okay. Okay. Yes. So if you want deeper understanding, there are those, like I said, on Instagram, you can go to the link and there's the 2 on-demand programs where I take you through a lot of the energetics and, you know, on different things. So there's a lot of information there. This is just tiny bits to see. So if you want more in depth, then go there. And if you've got any questions, if you do go there and you've got questions from those programs, you can come here and ask me and we can go over some of the things. Yeah, but just know you can ask questions. Okay. Is this in the subliminal stress and visible shadow? Yes. I go through like basically the whole course just on triple warmer, but you know, with diagrams and all the rest of it and PowerPoint and slides and stuff. So all of that's there and much more, right? So I draw, you know, I was drawing pictures of what I was talking about here and going into all of that, you know, all the advanced what do you call it? The advanced earthing techniques and stuff like that. The thing is, if you don't have the general ones, there's no point teaching you the advanced ones, right? But in that course, it goes through, because it was days, over days. It was a workshop over days. So, you know, they'll taught certain things on the first day, experience them, you know, Q&A and all of that. And then we're in the second day and then the third, right? So it's like building the systems up and going through it all, not just doing a Facebook Live and saying, right. So there's only so much I can do, because there's so much information. Even, I mean, it's just so much. So if you want something that you can just go to and see it, and in fact, if you do go onto that, I'll see it, and I'll send you something else. I'll send you something. I'm not going to say what, but Mercedes, if you do, I will send you. I'll send you the PDF so that you can just. Well, I'll have a look and I'll see if I've got. There's numerous PDFs, right, for the different parts that are in there. So I'll send you something that will be even simpler, so that you don't have to keep going back to the recordings, because there's a lot of hours there. But you can watch the first workshop, the 2, like I think it's 6 hours. If you can get through those 6 hours, which is the primary workshop, then a lot of the advanced stuff is in that one. And the other workshops are other ways that I've explained things, and they're workshops, but they're, I can't say I ever teach the same thing the same, right? So if you know Fee, she did all the workshops, and I didn't say the same thing twice. So that's, you see what I mean? Because even how I taught this was different again. It's different again. So the core things are there, but you know, how they're put together changes, because my understanding of them changes. and who asks me a question takes me deeper. So asking questions does take things deeper. So you saw when I was getting information on the chats, I went into other things. So that's how you get, one of my yoga teacher, he says, you're only going to get what's in the manual unless you ask questions. And when people ask him questions, oh my goodness, he goes to amazing, miraculous places. I'm like, oh, what question can I ask him, right? It's the same. I'm the same as him. It's like, it's true. Think about it. If you meet somebody in the street and they say, how are you? And you say, oh yeah, la, 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 la. And then they start asking you questions and you go to all these places, you know, that's how I get my teachings. Like lately I've got pages, like I've been drawing pictures and like, it's just like all sorts of pages and pages of teachings, sitting on the couch out the back, talking to Eric about things that I've experienced or I'm looking at for the course for Sai and nutting it out. And he'll ask me something and I'll be like, oh, I've got to write that down, right? So that's how I work. I don't know how you work, but that's how I work. And I know myself enough to be able to say, that's how you get the gold from me. Asking questions, right? Because I just go there. That's a fire element too. The fire element will go to the person and it'll be all about you. That's fire, right? Notice if ever any of you have done my class, I'll be teaching and you'll ask me a question and I'll just be all about you and your question and your energy and what's going on, and right, and then I'll move back on. That's fire. And I know that about myself, so I balance that, right? We still got to get the information done. We did, but we could have got it done in 20 minutes. We got it done in all righty. So no questions. I will leave it at that, and I will see you possibly next week. And yeah, go back and look at the Monday. I am editing it to make it shorter so that you can just sort of see the key theories, but you can fast forward through the bits, you know, if you wanted to, and just get a gist of that, because today is sort of the practical of what I was talking about, because it was all about stress, shock, right, trauma, right? This is about the energetics and a protocol that if you just put together would be about 15-20 minutes if you sat and did it yourself. You could lay in bed. You can do some quicker than others, but if you're starting out, do them for at least 3 minutes, right? And if you've got time, do them for 5 minutes and just notice what's happening in your body. And if you're not sure about what's going on, message me, write to me, and I can look at that and go, okay, well, do it this way for you, right? Or come back next week and ask them, whatever tickles your fancy. All right, much love to you all. I hope you feel as blissfully brilliant and magnificent as how I see you. Until we meet again, may the blessings be. Right, let's see how we can